We got this from the Daily Mail. National Guard would be able to use force against armed migrants entering the U.S. under new bill from Navy SEAL veteran Republican congressman. They're going to mention that House Republicans are pushing a bill that would authorize the National Guard to use lethal force against individuals with weapons crossing from Mexico into the United States. They do keep saying that, but they also mention the bill actually says and for other issues or whatever. They say in the last year there have been multiple instances of migrants crossing into the U.S. carrying weapons, with some brandishing rifles like an AR-15. As the Biden administration and Texas Governor Greg Abbott clash over border security policies, the bill, Luttrell claims, will enable the National Guard to better protect the U.S. by using any means necessary to stop armed migrants. Look, they got photos of these dudes. That's kind of wild.
I just can't believe that we have to pass this law. what have we been doing this whole time?
It's legit an invasion.
Yeah,
I know.
They're coming armed.
Why are we not just the headline should just say invasion at the border? Well, of course they won't. Who wrote this? This is
Can we?
UK.
Here you go. They call him the People Smuggler. Oh, that sounds like a supervillain name. The People Smuggler was filmed by Texas Department of Safety drone on Wednesday near Eagle Pass. This is Wednesday. Take this photo, post it on Twitter, and say invasion. Okay, spare me. These dudes are coming with rifles, and our guys aren't even allowed to defend this country from armed people. Wow.
Again, why does this have to be a law? I just don't get this. I mean, I'm glad it is if no one has thought that this is something that's necessary. Why do we have a border if we're not trying to stop people who are entering armed, who are trying to enter illegally while armed? Like, again, what are we doing here, team?
Well, and what are we doing? Why are these governors sending the National Guard down there if they aren't? I didn't know they're not allowed to
they're
use
just supposed
their
to
weapons against
put out their arms
people?
and be like, go back.
Hold hands and sing a song.
So I'm so glad that Ron DeSantis and all these governors are sending more and more National Guard troops because all they can do is just build fences and say, please,
right?
go.
They're gonna link arms and just be like, you cannot cross. They're not allowed to.
You shall not pass.
They're not allowed to retaliate.
Having been to the border in Yuma and seeing how they treat people coming across the border with like luggage tags and van rides and plane tickets and stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if they come with the gun and be like, do you need more ammo? Like,
is everything okay?
Yeah, do you need a case for that rifle?
It's totally crazy.
Where'd you get that? Did that come from here?
Nice.
Or did you?
It is interesting to me. So there's this bill, and then there was another one that the House passed yesterday, saying, I have to remember. I should give this guy credit, but I can't remember his name. Basically, it's Barry Moore from Alabama, I think. He proposed this bill that if there's an illegal immigrant who's in the country and gets convicted of or admits to driving while intoxicated, a DUI, then that's ground that makes them inadmissible. So they couldn't get like a green card. They couldn't get any status. And also it's grounds for deportation, which when I read it, it was sort of like, yes, of course, because you're here illegally in the first place, already committing a crime, and then you commit another crime, seems like you should definitely go. But the fact that we have to spell this out tells
it's clever politics. It's like, let's just pick one crime that everybody can sort of gather around. Like,
it also seems reasonable. Like someone who commits a crime while in the process of committing another crime, being here illegally.
Right.
Probably I don't want them to be a citizen. Probably they are not here with good intentions. Yes. Like it seems basic and obvious, but at the same time, 150 Democrats in the House voted against it. Right. Like it is weird that we have to say this is a bad idea. And in fact, there were congressmen from every border state, California, New Mexico, Arizona, who are Democrats who voted for this. So it makes me wonder, like, are you seeing this in your community where there are people who are here illegally and are proceeding to, potentially be hazards to, the illegal population, but also the legal residents in your communities? It's very weird.
At a certain point, they just can't deny it, and their constituents are like, our homes are ruined. This place is ruined. People are leaving. The economy in this town or city is dying. Like we see with Eric Adams when he spoke out. But then once he spoke out, they tried to Me Too him like a week or two later.
Oh yeah, that kind of disappeared for a while, didn't it?
Right. He was getting raided by the feds, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Jeez, man. We're at this is the 11th hour, dude. We got can we pull up this picture again? My friends. It's not the only one.
He's hanging out in the trees over here.
Bro, this is an invasion. It's like this guy's got a gun, and apparently it's an issue They're like, maybe we should give the National Guard the ability to, like, I don't know, fight back when they're being shot at or something.
That's him. He's a poor asylum seeker.
Yeah.
He's just trying to, come for opportunity.
Hands up, don't shoot.
It's xenophobic. It's xenophobic to question.
Armed asylum seekers. I'm actually totally down for saying asylum seekers.
They're ready to go to war, Tim, just like you've been saying.
He's like, Dick Durbin, I'm coming. I'm ready to fight.
I'm here to sign up and fight for Uncle Sam.
They're like, this guy's got experience. Right. No, the left likes to call them all asylum seekers, even when they're criminal aliens or smugglers or whatever. And so then you get the right saying illegal immigrant. And I'm telling people, like, criminal alien is the legal term for this. Mm-hmm. I'm going back to asylum seeker because I'm going to say armed asylum seekers.
Yeah.
Mostly peaceful.
Mostly peaceful.
Yeah.
But
armed.
Possibly peaceful.
Armed.
Look, he loves the Second Amendment. Of course he's an American.
This makes hopefully peaceful.
It's just wild. And this is, I wish I had listened to a Corinne Jean-Pierre White House briefing today. I'm sure if she saw this, was asked about it, she'd be like, everything at the border is fine. Don't question this at all. Like, at what point? This is for the hardcore progressive Democrats. I don't know that anything on this level will convince them, but people who are sort of non-political, moderate, maybe lean a little socially left, when you see these pictures, at what point are you just like, yes, this is incorrect?
No. If you take a closer look and you zoom in, you can actually see there's something on the back, right? He's holding a small anvil.
Of course.
He's trying to set up a smithing shop.
Right.
Stop assuming these are criminals. Oh,
I don't know. It almost looks like a bump stock to me.
The thing is, Wile E. Coyote use anvils all the time for bad things. And so that counts as a weapon to me too.
Hannah Claire, to your point, it's like those people, those very same people you're talking about looking at this and thinking that they might come to terms with it, the reality of it, they're the ones who looked at the riots and thought they were just.
See, I think that shifted. I think I think there's been sort of a bleeding effect away because some of these things are so concrete.
Yeah.
And that's why I think a lot of progressive outlets, a lot of progressive activists harp on January 6th so much because it's a way to sort of quell the fear. Like, you can't question anything that's going on because ultimately look at this very bad thing, theoretically, that happened this one time. Whereas this is an active invasion that's going on constantly and in fact has been going on for 3 years. I mean, it's what the official number is something like, we think 6 million illegal criminal aliens are here. But when Ron DeSantis was doing his press conference, when he was saying, I'm going to send people to the border, he was like, what's the number? Like 10 million? No one knows how many of these people are here.
There's no way of knowing.
Did you see Theo Vaughn's tweet? I think it was last weekend.
Yes.
He was the best. He tweeted, what was it? Like, let's close about it, get a head count on who's in this MFer. I'm not doing it justice.
He had another recent one too. I forget what
he's had a bunch of good ones. He's so funny.
Surprised.
Until we can figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Charlie, as the resident Kamala expert, what's her take on the border? Wasn't she
she
supposed to be in charge of the border?
Go back to, I think it was in June 21 when she went to Guatemala and she held that press conference and she got real stern and said, do not come.
That's right.
Do not come.
That's right.
Remember, angered AOC and a lot of other progressives? Mm-hmm. Well, I guess they're not listening to Kamala.
Well, why would they not listen to Kamala? I've heard that she's very influential.
She's historic. I don't know why they didn't get the memo.
Why did they make her border czar? Does your book know?
Yeah, it's this was kind of Biden's first attempt to be like, all right, Kamala, you're my buddy vice president. You're going to take one for the team. Here's what we did. I'm putting you in.
So I always wondered if that was him sort of being like, I'm going to give you a bad job because I don't really like you. I don't want you to be more like successful than I am.
And he knew exactly what he was doing because Obama did the same thing to him.
Charlie, I got to stop you there though. When has anyone ever said that Biden knows exactly what he's doing? Sorry.
Maybe in the first few months of his first term.
Okay.
As what, vice president?
As president. Well, at least his team knew, right? Because he's had the same team for decades.
We've heard stories. I don't know if
got them from Obama, I heard.
No, they're his guys.
Really?
Their team Biden is very strong and very powerful, and they are not beholden to anybody else but their own interests. Like, they aren't even beholden to the Biden family at this point. It's just them.
So why did they want, if he was immediately going to stick her with a terrible job trying to rein in the border, not really though if you're a Democrat, why did he select her as VP? Like, if there's always been a little bit of tension there, was it just that she would bring him the demographics that he wanted?
As I outlined in the book, it was a very political decision. He actually preferred Gretchen Whitmer because, she's Midwestern, swing state. She campaigned on the idea of fixing the damn roads.
The feds love her.
He liked that. He liked her style of politics and thought she was a real winner. She actually tried to drop out of the running because, the whole process was sort of overrun by the George Floyd riots, and it's like got very volatile, and that's when everyone sort of started dropping out. You had Amy Klobuchar just be like, "Oh,
I gotta
you
go."
know, former prosecutor, right,
Yeah.
in Minnesota." So I was like, I'm not doing this." So you saw more and more candidates drop out, and so he ended up, but he had to pick up. He had vowed to pick a woman vice president, and then ultimately it was clear by the senior advisors that he had to pick a woman of color during this time of racial tension. And he was not doing so good on racial issues. He was going around saying, poor kids are just as smart as white kids, and
Corn
you're not
pops
black
out there.
You're not black if you vote for Trump. And so, he really had to show that part of his base that he was serious about hearing them and getting a woman of color on the ticket.
You know what I was thinking? It's like, it's really funny how the left says these Christians are all super hateful and all that. And I'm thinking this because I'm like, I blame for all of the stuff happening right now, like where we are in my generation. I blame Christian conservatives. And it's because they're too good of people, and they were very tolerant and accepting to so many really bad people that they kept acting in good faith and allowed these far leftists and communists to infiltrate institutions. So I mean that somewhat, I'm half joking.
Right.
But, 30, 40 years ago, or 50, 60 years ago, when you have a very Christian conservative nation, evil steps in, lies, and being good people, they're like, well, I think we should give these people a fair chance. And now you've got communists running over everything. And even to this day, the Republican Party is still impotent and won't address these things. I mean, Donald Trump gets sued, criminally charged, abused mercilessly in these jurisdictions. Not a single Republican jurisdiction is countering. I mean, maybe there's one or two small ones here or there, but where's West Virginia or Texas? Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.